Hello, sir. I don't really know what to make a video about, slash don't really want to make a video. So I'm just gonna read you some stuff that I wrote. I might make a habit of doing this because I have a lot of old, cringy 13-year-old writing just stored away on my laptop that you might find interesting. I don't know. This is old, cringy 15-year-old writing. By 15-year-old, I don't mean I read it 15 years ago. I mean I read it when I was 15, which is about not that long ago. Anyway, chapter 1. I didn't go back to class. Taha drove me home in his rust bucket through the grid of suburban streets. Amanda did, however, go back to class, partly because she's tough, but mostly because she had music next and she had the biggest crush on this girl in her group. Taha wanted to come in to make sure I was okay, but I said I was fine and that he could go back to work. Call me Cam, yeah? Yeah. I shuffled up to the concrete steps of the house, slamming the front door shut behind me as I entered, slinging my school bag to one side. I went directly to the shower. I pulled off my uniform and let the hot water run over me. Examining the left side of my rib cage, I found that it was bloody and bruised. I closed my eyes and let the steam and water envelop me. Home in a warm shower and an empty house and a grilled cheese in the sandwich press. It was enough to make me feel a little better, but it wasn't enough to pull me out of the deep pit of anger and frustration and despair I'd fallen into. Getting out of the shower, I pulled on fresh jeans, a t-shirt, and a jacket. I grabbed a backpack and shoved a box of granola bars, my wallet, my phone, and my dad's sleeping bag inside. Upon rescuing the grilled cheese sandwich from becoming a blackened, oozy mess, I made the executive decision to get out of the house. Preferably out of the country, but that seemed A, unlikely to occur, and B, like a bit of an overreaction. Halfway out my bedroom door, I caught sight of my guitar sitting patiently in the corner. Torn, I compromised. Lugging my guitar around wasn't practical. But my uke? Perfect. I walked to the train station fast, breathing rhythmically, shallow, counting my steps, clenching and unclenching my fists. I was mad and in pain and annoyed at myself, annoyed at the guys who'd done this, and annoyed at the world in general. As I arrived, the wind picked up, and a light drizzle began to fall from the overcast sky. The unpredictable Melbourne weather seemed determined to keep me in a bad mood, and I wasn't about to argue with it. I stood, leaning against the rusted chain-link fence, waiting for the next train, my hood pulled tight over my head. The next train was to the city, so I touched on and took it, not entirely sure where I was going or why, only knowing that I couldn't be here. I sat in a window seat, watching the rain begin, water spiderwebbing across the glass. That's me, I thought, to a small drop of water, stagnant while streams raced past it. I'm the pathetic little raindrop going nowhere, while all the other raindrops rush around and knowing what they're doing. You're pathetic, Cam. Stop personifying rain, I said out loud, because being a Thursday afternoon, the carriage was empty. And you're not pathetic. I thought about calling Amanda, but I knew she'd be in music doing some hardcore flirting and playing the drums, so I called Taha instead. He had told me to after all. You at work? I asked. Yeah, so if I randomly hang up it's because Umbridge has come to tell me to shelve books faster. You home? Umbridge was the nickname he'd given to his boss at the library. He worked 3 crappy part-time jobs because he wanted to make money so that he could make films. Or that's what he said. Amanda and I were pretty sure he spent most of his money on watching films. No? Where are you? He asked. On a train. On a train? Don't you need medical attention? A hot bath? A cup of tea? Yeah, but I'm on a train. Where to? The city. Why? Bloody hell, Taha, what is this, 20 questions? 'Cause I went out of this stupid suburb. That does seem fair, considering that... And he hung up. I deduced that Umbridge had come to have a stern word with him, so I turned my attention back towards the window. I sat down in the mizzle on a graffiti-covered wooden bench by the Yarra, tourist boats and kids attached to parents drifting past. It had turned into one of those relentlessly grey Thursday afternoons, the clouds claustrophobically thick, the rain never quite staying and never quite going. I pulled out my uke and started noodling around. I played this Ziggy Albert song called Runaway because it felt appropriate. A sad song. A good song. Footsteps approached from behind me, shoes scraping against the wet pavement. I willed whoever it was to walk in the opposite direction. I'm not very good at telepathy. A 20-cent piece clattered on the ground in front of me. I stopped playing and looked up, fully preparing to give whoever it was a patented Cameron Lewis death stare. Hi, she said. I really love that song, don't you? Ziggy Albert. She had her hands in her pockets and was looking inquisitively down at me. She was extremely ginger. Not I'm from Scotland ginger, more like I'm Hayley Williams ginger. Yeah, she said. Why'd you stop? I wasn't exactly sure how to handle the situation. Being as angry with humanity as I wasn't especially eager to talk to anyone. I would much rather hibernate in a cave in the wilderness for a few years, like a grumpy grizzly bear. But there weren't any caves nearby, so I'd settled for this bench. I mean, it's 20 cents, but us buskers gotta share around, you know? She continued, sickeningly bubbly in her manner. I'm not busking? You're not? You should. You're real good. I guess it explains why the ukulele case is hiding on the bench, hey? Yeah, I said. Yeah. Hey, I gotta fly, but see you around? Sure? And she was gone. Huh, I said. Amanda would be so jealous that I got some hot girl's attention just by playing the uke. You got a hot girl's attention just by playing the uke? Yeah, man. Was she hot or just like a 6? Don't objectify women, you disgusting good-for-nothing bowl of slime. At least a 9. Geez, Cam, I'm gonna have to give up the drums and get a piece of that 4-string goodness. You get her number? She talked to me for like 10 seconds. But you get her number? No. Damn. You okay, dude? I asked, because that was really why I'd called. School was out and I felt kind of bad for her. Kind of bad for me. Kind of bad in general. I'm totally fine. Really? I was the one who got my ribs effing broken. You know that's not what I'm asking, I said, because that wasn't what I was asking. Hey, I'm not gonna get all shooketh because a bunch of dumbass jocks beat the crap out of me for liking girls. Kinda used to it, really. It's not something you should be used to. Tell me about it. And she sighed. Listen, what about you? You okay? Well, I'm currently chilling out in the city cussing all of humanity, so I'm gonna go with yes. You want me and Taha to come pick you up? You don't have to do that. Okay, but absolutely call me if you need me, yeah? Yeah, I said, even though I probably wouldn't. Well, I'll talk to you later then. Later. Having refused Amanda's offer to pick me up, I thought about what I was going to do instead. I'd always take the train right back home, but I didn't want to. Going home would mean dealing with normal life, and normal life was really grinding my goat, or whatever the expression is. And I had brought a sleeping bag. The bush was damp from the day's dismal weather, and if I moved too far to one side I risked being impaled by an army of twigs, and I was bloody freezing. But it was kind of exciting. Amanda, 2113. Your dad says you're not home. Cam, 2113. I'm in a bush. Amanda, 2114. A bush? Cam, 2114. In the gardens. Have a sleeping bag. Amanda, 2114. WTF are you doing in a bush? Cam, 2115. IDK, it seemed like a good idea. Taha, 2116. Amanda says you're in a bush. Cam, 2117. You brought Taha into the chat? It was so peaceful. Amanda, 2117. You're in a bush. I thought he should know. Taha, 2117. Cam, you're my hero. Cam, 2117. Lots of question marks. Taha, 2118. You're in a bush. Cam, 2118. Right. Taha, 2118. Amanda also told me you met a hot girl. Cam, 2119. Boy, news sure travels fast around here. Amanda, 2120. GTG. Lyle Taylor just broke his ankle and is out for 3 months. Need to find striker in Jan transfer window. Requires full concentration. Taha, 2120. K, see you later, A. Cam, 2121. Night, Amanda. GTG2. Need to deal with twigs. Tell you about hot girl later, T. Taha, 2121. Fine. Good night, Cameron Lewis, Lord of Bushes. Amanda, 2121. Night, Cam. I slipped my phone into my bag. I was using it as a makeshift pillow, and it wasn't especially comfortable, but it worked. My uke was down by my feet in the thick depths of the bush that were probably full of creepy crawlies. I tried very hard not to think about the creepy crawlies. I then attempted to sleep, and quickly discovered that the city is loud at all hours. It's like Melburnians think it's appropriate to have jackhammering competitions at 2 o'clock in the morning. I did eventually fall asleep, though. I know I did, because I woke with a start at about 4 a.m. due to a foreign warm liquid dripping onto my face. I opened my eyes, and was met with the horrific sight of the behind of a ring-tailed possum. "Possum!" And I sat bolt upright, causing the possum to run away, chattering nervously to itself. I also copped a few scratches on my face because I hadn't anticipated how abruptly my tiny hollowed out cocoon turned into very thick pointy branches. "Possum," I said again, for good measure. Night 1 of Cameron Lives Independently for a While Because She Hates Life had ended abruptly, and with a rodent peeing on my face. I packed up my things, rolled up my sleeping bag, and went to find a public toilet, hoping that the possum peeing incident wouldn't set the tone for the rest of Cameron Lives Independently for a While Because She Hates Life. After 3 years of searching, I found the one public toilet in the state of Victoria that wasn't locked at 4 a.m. and went inside to clean up myself as best as possible. Cameron Lewis's simple steps to dealing with possum pee. 1. Take off one of your socks. Socks are for losers anyway. 2. Use this sock as a washcloth. Run it over the dodgy gross tab and use it to scrub off as much pee as possible. 3. Use the unreliable, slimy public toilet soap combined with the bottle of deodorant you have in your backpack to get rid of as much of the smell as possible. Possum pee stinks. Like real bad. 4. When you're dry, relatively clean smelling, and unfortunately sockless, call Taha to tell him about your late night adventures. Do you know what time it is? About 4:40, why? Cameron Lewis better be a damn good reason for this phone call. Possum peed on my face. What? It found my bush, and it was like, that looks like a nice sleeping human, better pee on their face, and then he let loose, and I was like, what is happening? And then I found the only public toilet in the whole of the southern hemisphere that is unlocked at 4 in the morning and clean myself up. Cam? Yeah? The only reason you should ever call me at 4:40 in the morning is to tell me about a possum peeing on your face. Noted. Brushtail or ringtail? What? The possum. Ringtail. So, what you doing now? Standing sockless in a disgusting public toilet, I said, glancing at the dimly lit walls covered in graffiti and other less appealing substances that I didn't really want to think about. Did Mr. Ringtail Possum steal your socks as well? It's a long story. Well, tell me about it at a reasonable hour tomorrow. I'm going back to bed. Alright, I'm going back to bush. I'll see you later. Later, Cameron Lewis, Lord of Possum Urine. And he hung up. I wasn't going back to bush. I don't think I was ever going back to bush. I was understandably slightly emotionally scarred. Okay, that's the thing. I hope you liked the thing. That's it. Bye.